All right, good morning, saltwater fishing friends, family. We had a viewer, Justin Husby, ask how we switch the controls from the main helm station to the tower station. And in this video, we're going to show you how our boat does that. And I'm not exactly sure every one of them are like that, but we're going to show you how it works here on the Speechless in today's video. Alright, so we have electronic controls. We have, non-computerized motors, which they call mechanical motors in this boat. They're Yanmar 465s. It's a pair of them. And they don't have any kind of computer modules on them or anything like that. So they actually have to be put in gear manually with cables per se. So, but we do have electronic controls on this box, and they're made by a company called Glendenning. And so what it is we have an electronic module up here that is connected to our Palm Beach controls. This is what these are called, Palm Beach controls, because you got forward and throttle, and you got neutral, reverse, and throttle. It's all in one. And so I don't know how they got that name. Maybe one of you guys that know can tell us. But anyway, nonetheless, this module up here sends a signal to a computer box that has little arms that come out of it, and those arms are attached to cables. And it's actually a cable that goes from that computer box to the engine and the transmission, because there's two cables. One is for throttle and the other one is for gear. It tells it when to go into gear and when to add throttle. And one thing with this system, when you put it in gear, there's a slight delay. Just because there's a little bit of time that it takes for all this to communicate, which at first it was kind of tricky, but once you get the feel for it and it becomes an extension of your body and you don't even think twice. You put it in gear. I mean, just say you're fighting a fish and you're bumping in and out of neutral, and all of a sudden the fish gets underneath the boat and you need to go ahead fast. It all becomes second nature. It's funny because you'll find yourself waiting for that little bit of time you need for that pause that it takes for it to go in gear before you're allowed to give it any throttle. Because if you're not used to that, it'll actually take throttle before it drops in gear. So you kind of got to be careful to tear your transmission up. So here we have our Glendenning controls, and we have a master switch, which the cover here is in bad shape. I'm going to replace it this winter. It looks kind of ratty. And here on the Speechless, we do not like things that look ratty. But anyway, so we have to turn our main control on. All right, and both of your motors have to be in the the neutral position, and they have little barely little knots there, stops that you can feel. So both of them have to be in a neutral position, and it has a take, sync, warm, and troll button on it. So our particular one, I have to hit it twice, and it automatically I have to hit take twice, and it automatically goes into warm mode. And what that means is that you can move the throttles forward and give the engines throttle without it being in gear. So like say you want to speed up, you're warming up your motors and you want to speed up that time process a little bit, and you want to give her a couple hundred RPMs, you can go ahead and it will not go in gear, but you can give it some RPMs to make the motor warm up a little faster. And so anyway, I'll bring her on back to neutral there, and then we can take it out of warm mode. Well, that's what I do, is just hit the button once. And now we're in regular drive mode. So when I put the throttle in forward, you can see a light there, it goes right to forward. And that means that we are hot, we're ready to go. So, and you can see a little delay on that too. Now, when we're down here, I'm running out in the morning, that's the way we have it. On a pretty day, I'm trolling along, I'll set the autopilot, to heading hold, just holding a heading. We'll be, easing along at trolling speed. And I can leave this station here and go up top to the tower and take controls. And there's a little bit of a process for that too, but I'm gonna go up to the tower and I'll show you how that's done. All right, so now we're up in the tower and we're getting ready to take the controls of the Glendennings up here. So both of these have to be in a neutral position. And then what I'll do is flashing take and neutral. I'll hit the take button and the engines will automatically come back to idle if they're not already at idle. And then I can take control here. And then as you see, they're in forward and I can have complete control over the engines here. So it's a really nice feature. And when you want to go back downstairs and take control again, you know, say you're operating the motors from up here and you just leave them in forward, you know, set your autopilot there to hitting hold and you run downstairs, you bring those back to the neutral position, press take, the engines will come back to an idle in neutral, and then all you have to do is take control, bump forward, reverse, whatever you want to do. So it's a real nice system, and I'm glad it's boats equipped with it. Thanks for the question. And if you other guys that are watching have any questions about what we're doing, make a comment. We'll be glad to answer them to the best of our ability. All right, until next time, my friends, like Marcus says, stay salty.